ladies and gentlemen. Today we are taking a look at my second fossilizer, Tricranius. But not only are we looking at Tricranius, we have to look at his 1,000,001 blast effects, which is like a cotton candy explosion for some reason. However, in looking at these, one thing that I do have to say is that I really love the blast effects because you can go totally crazy with any of these guys that you use them with. For instance, let's start off with Megatron. And G2 Megatron, being as extra as he is, using this sort of combination of blast effects looks awesome. But then if you're going to have Megatron, you have to go the opposite direction with Optimus, which it is kind of strange to see a blue blast effect with his rifle, but I think it works. And as long as we're on the subjects of primes, let's look at his successor, Rodimus. And using a combination of the two different colored effects in this one, I think it works well for his rifle because it's harkening back to what we just saw with Optimus for their personal weaponry. It adds a little bit of extra oomph by using the different colors. Now when we look at Warpath, we have two blast effects, one on his leg and one on his arm, that actually have not seen anywhere else in the War for Cybertron trilogy. Which, you know what, that's a nice little extra. But then again, I do love the fact that with Warpath being who he is, that big boom blast effect with like the spiral effect and it's perfect for him, was where I'm getting at with this. However, one of our last ones is a gun-toting monkey. And well, it is kind of funny to see Nemesis in beast mode wielding Prime's rifle. It just looks cool to me personally. So anyway, I love that. So in looking at Tricranius himself, obviously this is a reutilization of the Ractonite mold. The reason I got him was because, you know, it's a Triceratops. It's the coloration, I think, along with this new piece. It makes him feel less like a dead animal. But, you know, obviously there's still dead dino pieces like his rib cage and other, you know, which, I mean, that's why I like him, I think, a little bit better than I do Transmutate. Don't get me wrong, as you saw in her video, I love this girl. She's awesome in her own right. So here we can see Tricranius wrecking Scorponok along with his fellow Dinobots wrecking the other Predacons. So I'm actually loving this because so wild and the aesthetic is so crazy. It's, oh, I'm here for this sort of stuff. So it's awesome just to have a Triceratops in the mix, messing the guys up. However, how does our fossilizer boy look in robot mode? Now, the mold that he's taken from in the traditional bone gray did not look as good as this. His lava colors actually come back and play super strong in his robot mode. Now, one of the things that I have always kind of found weird was how for both of where his hands would be, he actually doesn't have any. Now in his box art, it actually shows him having hands right about here, and that this is actually a laser blast weapon. And I always have kind of found this interesting, that his weapon, even though it's supposed to be part of his tail and like a physical blade, it kind of has more of an energy effect. But if you want to see him in combat, take a look at him here with Shadow Panther. And one of the things that I always dug is, for as bulky as this boy is, he's actually quite posable. So it just led to some kind of cool, fun stuff leading up with him facing off against Shadow Panther. But if we take a look at this picture, look at what he's rocking on his right cheek. It's the Maximal logo, and I am just so digging the return of Beast Wars logos. I think it's awesome. However, with Transmutate and Tricranius, what if we actually combined the two of them together? Well, as you can see in these pictures, I think that Skull Smasher looks awesome because it plays on the strengths of these two fossilizers. And this is just a shaky first attempt, but it gives you an idea of what is possible with the specialty fossilizers that we've received in generations. So if you play off of Tricranius's ability as a fossilizer and then throw in the blast effects, you can get certain shots like this. Where as you can see, he is armored up Mirage with a big, huge sword, which I feel is frankly ridiculous. Then if you want to go to absolute absurd town, The instructions actually mention that you can form a giant battle hammer out of his body parts. So that is something that is kind of cool. I think that Tricranius is an amazing figure and definitely far surpasses the original Ractonite mold that he was taken from. So in conclusion, guys, I hope you enjoyed our look at Generation Selects Tricranius with his 1,000,001 blast effects. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in another review.